What's up, everybody? Me and Cookie are back again with another podcast. We haven't done a podcast for a while because there hasn't really been any news. But yesterday, the developers tweeted all kinds of different stuff, answering a lot of questions. And we're just going to go over all the different points that were made and talk about these upcoming plans for the game. And so Cookie's going to read off the points for us.
Yes, I am. Some of it was positive. There's some that we might not feel as positive about. But at least I think the first point that I'm going to talk about here, at least for me, is a definite positive. And that's that they talked about Conquest, Dennis specifically did, saying basically that it's in the works, not confirming it necessarily, but definitely talking about them being very interested in doing something like that. Basically bringing back the original Battlefront command post style maps to online and stuff, which I personally think would be extremely cool. I think we're kind of in agreement on that. It would be really nice to have something like that. Are we in agreement, or is there any... Do you not agree?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not confirmed that they're going to add that. I think they're just going to play around and try to give something to that effect. I don't know how it's going to work with the current way that the maps are laid out, though, because they're too... Like, some of them are too big. Like, Kashyyyk, I don't think that would work, because then people would just be too separated. It would work if you had, like the same numbers that Battlefield has. What's it, like 30 on 30? I think it would work then, but 20 on 20, it's just not going to work with some of those maps. I don't know how they would do it.
Well, that's one way they could do it.
It's definitely a cool mode, and I would like to see it. Well, they're not going to add more. The servers suck now, Cookie. They're not going to add more players to it.
Maybe they do it in the same sort of way as Galactic Conquest, where you have to like, but this would be pretty crazy. But you'd have to like gain control of all the command posts, and then it would jump you to the next level, or like there would be a time limit or something, and then they jump to the next level. I don't know.
That's supremacy from the last game.
I know that would be more similar
that nobody played.
So I guess that probably wouldn't work. They'd have to probably make the map smaller, and then that wouldn't be quite as appealing. I don't know. There's a lot of different things they could do, but just the fact of them talking about it, the fact that it may come eventually, that's a pretty big positive for me, because obviously we're huge fans of the originals, and that's more towards that, so I'm definitely in favor of that. He also gave some specifics on the next patch, kind of as expected. The jetpack cargo mode will be in the next patch. That has been said. Also, should be, I believe, the rest of the arcade maps should be in the next patch as well. So that's good news, although as far as the arcade maps, I don't know how it's taken them this long to do that. But, hey, take the positives as they come. So I guess that's a good thing.
Well, I mean, it's nice. I can't really complain. I don't play arcade enough to really care, but I'm not going to... I mean, I can't complain over them adding more stuff. Yeah. So that's good.
So, yeah, having those...
I wish that they'd add... the Naboo Heroes vs. Villains map. Like, that's what I want, those Heroes vs. Villain maps on arcade.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Those would be
especially
cool.
With the dual split screen stuff. That would be really kind of cool to have that map as an option. So, maybe someday, but at least for now, I think we'll get the rest of those maps. As for jetpack cargo, we still don't know a ton about it. It depends how interesting / complex it is, but at least it's something.
Yeah, like I said before, it's just a placeholder to hopefully get people to stop complaining about no content until the next season.
Yeah, so hopefully it's pretty good.
I mean, it could be a success if they did things like special cargo or jetpack cargo, more credit weekend or something. That's how they can make it a successful game mode. But we'll see if they do that.
They haven't done that yet, so I guess we'll find out. Another little interesting tidbit was that he talked about droidicas, and what's interesting about it is he didn't specifically answer a person's question about droidicas. Someone asked about extra units like ARC troopers and stuff like that, and then he said, don't forget droidicas. So the fact that he brought it up makes it definitely sound like he's very interested in bringing that into the game, which is great news, because I'd love to have droidicas in the game. But as we talked about before, it'd be difficult.
Would be really cool. Oh man, I'm just imagining like a droidica on Naboo right now or something. Like you look down the hallway and like the droids are pushing through and a freaking droidica rolls in with its shield up. It'd just be so cool.
It would add such a variety. I mean, it would just be it would change the battles immensely if the droids randomly have a droidica running around.
Plus, I mean, the clones would get something too. They'd get like an ARC trooper or something that would be
a counter.
There's a bunch of stuff they can add for the clones, but like the rebels and stuff, it's kind of hard to add reinforcements for them.
They're gonna more or less have to make stuff up, I think. They just got to be like badass pilot or something, I guess. He also made sure that to tell people you won't lose anything like credits or crafting parts with the updated progression system once it's done. So obviously that's good news. That was a concern we had too.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a big point right there, because I wondered if I needed to save my crafting parts. I needed to know if I was to save my credits. Like, I didn't want to save like 100,000 credits and then they're not worth anything. That would suck.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that everything, like, they're still going to be worth something. They might not be worth the same that they are now. Like, crates might be cheaper or something. Who knows? But at least they're still relevant and they're not going to be useless.
Yeah, it sounds like they'd be worth more, I would imagine. If they're worth less, that would make no sense. That means they made the progression system
it wouldn't make any sense.
Much worse.
Worse.
It means they didn't quite understand the complaints.
Fix it. They make it worse.
I think they missed the point here. Yeah, so it should be worth even more.
So that's good.
So that's good news. So it's not like it's worthless to play the game right now. That definitely still will hold some worth moving forward. He also talked, and this is a point we've been harping on a lot ever since the game came out, is that patches were supposed to come out every 2 weeks, and they haven't been. Dennis kind of clarified that statement, or changed it, saying that it's basically like server patches kind of come every 2 weeks, or small little patches like that. But the big ones that involve like nerfs and buffs, those come out basically every month or every 4 weeks, which would be more consistent with what they've been doing. Because we kind of expected one this week and we didn't have one. I guess that's more or less what.
See, I'm obviously upset because they're not doing these 2 weeks things. And it doesn't make sense because some of these changes are really small. Like, these nerfs and buffs, they're not going to take that long to do. I don't get why it takes them a month to do a patch.
Process just takes them super long, because he also said the patch is done. The patch is done. It's in the approval process.
Yeah.
So that's another thing he added.
Well, I'm not that upset. See, I'm happy that he came out and actually said this, because when you promise that they're going to come out every 2 weeks, people expect that, and then they're just confused as to when that doesn't happen. So him saying that, yeah, there might be every 4 weeks, and he said that he wants to shorten that. So just him coming out and saying, hey, they're going to be like once a month, then I know what to expect, and I know, hey, I'm going to be stuck with these problems with the game for at least another month at a time, instead of expecting it every 2 weeks and just being disappointed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's upsetting that they're going to be once a month, and it's going to kind of slow down the game and like not make it as exciting, because they're not pumping out content as much as I'd like. But I mean, the fact that they came out and at least gave a reason, I can't really be too upset for them, because I mean, at least it shows that they're trying and they're working towards something.
Yeah, if your expectations are it comes out every 4 weeks, you're not going to get disappointed all the time. So yeah, it's good that he clarified that. I'm glad that got clarified, and now we know what to expect moving forward. So we should obviously expect a patch next week, because it would really suck if he says this and then it goes longer than 4 weeks. Be like,
well, yeah,
wow.
If it's already in the approval process and stuff, and it doesn't come out next week, then there's some other problem going on.
That's a totally different issue.
But I'd also like to point out that the Supercharged Sentry is supposed to be in the upcoming patch. Like, they're going to buff it back up. Oh, as soon as I found that out, oh boy, I hope they nerfed it into oblivion and never brought it back into the game again. But now they're going to give it a buff.
Well,
like, right now it only lasts like 3 or 4 seconds. But like, it wouldn't be bad if it just didn't insta-kill freaking heroes. If they just did something to tweak it so it didn't, like, heroes could block it with lightsabers or something, I think it would be fine. But I don't know why they're rebuffing it.
I'm okay with this, as long as it doesn't go back to what it was. I mean, it being buffed up a little. I mean, he only said, like, we want to balance it more. I'm fine with that. He's not saying, like, yeah, it needs to massacre heroes again. I mean, he's obviously not going to say that. But yeah, I don't think they're going to make the damage to heroes increased or anything like that. I think the splash damage being down is good where it is. I think they might just buff how long it lasts. Like, it lasts a second more or something. And I think that's fair. I don't think that's crazy. So as long as they don't do anything nutsy with it and put it right back to where it was, which I obviously think they wouldn't, because that would be incredibly stupid on their part, because they was complaining about it for so long. For them to nerf it or buff it right back to where it was would be really stupid. So I'm okay. I think it'll be okay.
For that.
I don't think you have to worry too much.
Well, I hope you're right.
However,
I'm gonna worry anyway.
As bad as that might be, this is what really bothered me from the news that we got today. And it was that he talked about private match, and what he specifically said about it was that they want it, but it might take a while. Now, this is very concerning for me, because when they say might take a while, God only knows how long that might be. Because a lot of this stuff they said, hey, coming soon, and we still haven't gotten it, and that's already months. If he's admitting
coming soon to them is like 4+ months.
Oh, my God.
Take a while for them is probably... I bet you we don't see private match till this time next year.
Oh God, I hope that's not true. I mean, I don't want to say that and be horribly off, and it comes out in like June or something. But it's very realistic that it might.
I hope that's true.
Come out till.
I hope I'm wrong.
I mean, it's just, God, like that is such an integral thing in the game. That should have been in there at launch. For this to take that much longer beyond right now, that's a major concern for me. How long is it going to take?
I was hoping that would be something they'd give us. Like in between DLCs, like in February, here's private match to keep you busy until the season comes out. But
doesn't look like that's happening.
Yeah, if he says that he hope it could make it into the game and it's gonna be a long time, then yeah, we're not gonna see it
for a long time
anytime soon. Like at least for half a year, longer.
I'd be shocked if we see it before
a year.
August. I mean. That would.
Well, they're not going to have a Battlefront 3 anytime soon, so it could be something that they try to prolong the life of this game next year, just to get people to keep playing.
I don't know. It's not like a new hero or something.
But yeah,
it would be for me.
That's bad news.
Yeah, that's bad news. So that's
because we can make a bunch of because we do 1v1s with fans and subscribers, and we have tournaments, and we make all kinds of like funny skits and stuff with private match, and without private match. You can't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we've wanted to play on PS4 for a while now, but, I mean, you can't. Like, we can't do it because there's no private match.
It could. It just wouldn't be
so
a point. It would just be the same as the Xbox at this point. Except we wouldn't have
like, we can't play with that many of you guys on Xbox because the party size can only hold up to, like, 8 people, and you'd have to invite everybody, and people get kicked. It's a pain in the butt to play with people in this game, and private match would really help that out, so it's a shame that we're not going to get that anytime soon.
Also, they said that, or Dennis said that DLC will be locked in, or some of it is locked in with movies and such, which basically confirms a solo season. I don't want to say anything is confirmed, obviously, but I'd be absolutely shocked if there's not a DLC locked in with the solo movie. But we did kind of expect that. When we talked about future DLC and stuff, or future seasons, we kind of expected the Han Solo movie would be involved.
Well,
so that pretty much
what scares me about that is that comes out in May, which means they'd want to have it come out right before the movie. Early May, they'd want the DLC to hit. And at the rate they're going, they said they're going to give us more news in March, which means we might not get the DLC until... What, the end of March? Our next season might not even be until the Han Solo one. With how slow that they're going.
That's the scariest part about that news. Because
it's already February, and we're not going to get any news on the progression until March. And then there's just April. What, they're going to have 2 seasons done between March and May, the beginning of May? So that basically gives them the month of March and the month of April.
Yeah, they haven't
confirmed it's already been 2 months
about a
since
DLC
the last
in March.
DLC.
I mean, we'll probably have a season in March, but they haven't confirmed anything like heroes or new planets in March.
Well, yeah, we don't know when the next season is going to be, or the next DLC, or anything. So that's what's concerning me, is that they're going to go from... I mean, this is worst case scenario, is that they don't have any DLC from December all the way until May, and then it's not Clone Wars and it's just Han Solo stuff.
Yeah, you're still not getting anything that people are really asking for. I mean, who knows with the Han Solo movie how good it is and how much stuff in it we want, but we know we want Clone Wars stuff. Han Solo is like questionable.
Now, like me personally, they could have some cool characters in this Han Solo movie, but I want freaking some Clone Wars stuff. I didn't buy this game thinking, oh man, I want some Han Solo stuff. When I bought this game, I thought there was going to be epic Clone Wars battles.
So, I mean, I'm fine with there being a Solo season. I expected it. My problem is, does that mean we're not getting anything until the Solo season? That would be a major concern. So hopefully something comes before that.
We get a season in March and then have April off, and then something comes in May too.
Also,
that'd be best case scenario.
I also talked about an era select screen. This is a positive for me, as a possibility in Galactic Assault, which would be really cool because that way you don't have to wait through the entire map rotation to get planets you want. You can just go to your era. So one for obviously Galactic Civil War, the Disney trilogy, and one for Clone Wars, which would be super, super awesome. So that would be a major positive.
I mean, it'll separate the community for sure. Like anytime there's a new game mode or anything like that, it separates the player base. But I don't think it'll matter too much. I don't know if the servers can handle that, because right now sometimes like I'll search for a match and it just puts me in a lobby full of nobody. So if I'm like telling it I only want these 3 maps, it might have trouble doing that.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point, I mean, but as long as it works.
Because they still haven't fixed the servers now, and it's February.
Yeah, well,
hopefully they get it fixed.
I think there's
like if the system works, that's one thing.
Server patch.
Yeah, I think there's supposed to be a patch today, some kind of server patch. But every server patch they've done has just messed it up more.
Yeah, this is true.
So hopefully they get that fixed, and it doesn't really bother me too much because if I pick Clone Wars, and I just play Clone Wars over and over and over. I mean, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of I'm excited for it. I just if it works the way it's supposed to.
They also said there would be varied seasons. Now, what he means by that is that the seasons would be they won't always necessarily have heroes and planets, like new heroes, new planets, like the Last Jedi season did. They may also just be, you know, just there with random little things. Kind of when we talked about that being a possibility too, when we talked about the seasons, that they might just have seasons that aren't involved with DLC, that are just more or less there with other little things. Like that might be the season we get private match, or the season we get customization options, stuff like that.
Well, that's what they should have done this month. Like the month of February should have been a season, and then they should have had this new game mode linked with this season, and then they could have like XP events and more credit events and different things to keep the community alive. Having 2 months off with no seasons was a pretty big mistake on their part. So I don't know. Like, this is a good idea, and this is how they should do it. Like, there should be a season almost every month or every other month. And it's okay if we don't have heroes and new maps every time, but yeah, they definitely need to give us some smaller content, like kind of like what they did with Iden. Like, that didn't take much for them to do. All they did was throw a TIE fighter in, but that's something new. Like, there's just something small like that will make a difference.
Yeah, so that could have kicked off the season. So yeah, that's probably good news, I think, so we can have seasons more often. So I think that's a good thing as well. This is something I'm torn on. He said there will be basically reskins of maps from the first Battlefront, possibly soon. Now, I'm a little torn on this. Just because, like, I guess that would mean a map like Bespin would much more easily be able to be in it. My only problem with that is, you know, you kind of want it to look different and stuff. But I don't know. I want to get your opinion on this one first. Like the idea of getting reskinned 2015 maps.
Yeah, because I played the hell out of that game. See, the problem with this is that it only applies to Galactic Civil War, for one. Like, you're not going to have a Clone Wars battle on, like, Endor. Doesn't make any sense. But some of those maps were really good. Like, I loved Endor, and that Jakku map was pretty decent. But, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, the graphics needed some tweaking. Like, they can remaster the maps. Like, if it's the same exact map, but the graphics are upgraded, I think that'll be okay. And I liked Walker Assault. It was a fun game mode. And, I mean, they could also be talking about the smaller maps, which is probably more likely. I doubt that they actually do Walker Assault. They'll probably do, like, Bespin's freezing chambers is probably something that we'll get. Yeah, I don't think they're going to redo, like, the Bespin big map. That wouldn't make much sense. They're going to do, like, a heroes versus villains. Because it's smaller, it's easier to redo. The graphics probably don't need that much tweaking because it's already a really pretty map and it's in the shadows, so they don't need to tweak too much. It'll probably just be a heroes versus villains type map thing. I wouldn't expect too many Walker Assault maps because, like I said, that's just for like Galactic Civil War.
Yeah, and those like Jabba's Palace and stuff, I could see them doing. You know, so it could be interesting. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. It's more content.
Oh no!
So I mean, it's more content's good.
That's welcome change.
He did talk about more non-space Starfighter Assault maps being a possibility. Obviously, nothing confirmed in that. He did confirm there will be more Starfighter Assault maps, but he also said they don't necessarily have to be in space. So, for me, that's a good thing. I mean, I love Starfighter, so I know it's not as popular with people at the moment, but that's nice. And I liked playing on Camino. It gives it a different feel when it's not in space.
I think it will be more popular once the progression system is changed, hopefully. Because like a lot of people can't upgrade their ships because they want to upgrade their infantry and their heroes and stuff. Like I don't have hardly any of the ships upgraded at all, so I don't play any Starfighter Assault because I know I don't have anything upgraded, and I'm not going to be able to afford to upgrade anything. So once they change that progression system, I bet you there'll be an increase in people playing that game.
I do remember hearing something about there being like getting some free Starfighter upgrade stuff coming soon. I didn't quite understand that, and it was a little vague, but I think that was...
Oh, that's supposed to be a crate that comes with this server patch that we're supposed to get. Now, as of recording this video, I still don't have that chest, so I don't know when that patch is... I don't know when that's going to go live, but you're just supposed to get a crate. It's got like 4,000 credits, and it's supposed to have some free Starfighter cards. So, I mean... I wouldn't expect anything too crazy from here.
So
it's probably literally just a Starfighter Assault crate.
More or less, it doesn't sound like they're giving up on Starfighter Assault, because obviously if they're not going to make more maps, they're basically giving up on it. So that's good news for me, because I really like that. The last point I have here is that he talked about the campaign, because someone asked if there's more campaign DLC, and he said none planned at the moment. They're focusing more on more exciting PvE options. He also... kind of related to this, talked about Horde or some sort of Horde mode being a possibility in the future as well, which would give arcade something totally new and different that would attract more people to arcade. But basically not working on the campaign DLC at the moment.
See, I don't know. That's a cool... I'm glad that they're not working on the campaign, because campaign is not very good, and it takes away time from DLC. Everything else.
I still don't know what happened.
It's.
I heard it sucked, so I didn't waste my time.
You're not missing too much. Yeah. Anyway, like a Horde mode, it sounds good, but I mean that's basically Onslaught now. You just turn on the settings so that they go on endlessly and just keep slaughtering.
Well, without private
match,
it doesn't really
if
matter.
they did a Horde mode.
Yeah, without private match, it doesn't matter. With private match, Horde could be a lot of fun. Go with your friends and
you could do it with a friend.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, but right now, there's no need to put in a Horde mode. You just go to Onslaught, make it the 999 enemies.
Yeah, that's true.
Make it so you're by yourself, and then there you go. You just slaughter dudes endlessly. That's Horde mode.
Yeah, I kind of forgot they don't have private match, so actually Horde's not that big a deal. It would be a lot of fun with private match.
Yeah. There's a lot of things they need to do to arcade to make it good. Like, the AI is just really stupid. And it feels like it's just lazily put together. It just doesn't feel very good at all. I don't know. Like, arcade mode should have been skirmish mode. It should have been instant action from the old games is what it should have been.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what can you do?
Yeah.
But they did say they're going to try to make improvements, so that's good.
So basically, I mean...
Glad that they're focusing their time on that.
It's a positive. I mean, getting communication is always a positive. So, I mean, this is in general. I'm glad to hear... A lot of this stuff is in the works. There's some things that are negative, but I mean most of the stuff's good. So I mean, you kind of take away from it. It's good news overall.
I'm not too upset over this at all. Like as long as they come out and they give reasons behind it, and they're like, hey, this is what's going to happen now. Like the whole patch thing being 4 weeks instead of 2. I'm okay with that. So them coming out and doing this, they need it like a more official way. Like
yeah,
EA
Dennis
needs
shouldn't
to make
have
an
to do
announcement.
this from his Twitter. I mean, this or having to go to Reddit and stuff. There should be a much better way of doing this. I agree.
They need like a once a month news update from EA Star Wars themselves so that more people see it and that kind of thing. But it is good news. I'm glad that he's come out and said all these things. It does like shine a positive light on things. It's not a very bright light, but it is a light. I mean, we're not going to get our hopes too high because we know how slow that they're going, so we just don't expect any new content anytime soon.
Yeah. But
it is good news, and I'm glad that he went out on Twitter and said all this stuff.
Well, if you guys did like this video, let us know. Smash that like button. Let us know in the comments as well. Let us know what you guys think of this, because there's tons of new information, tons to digest. Tell us if you guys think this is positive, or maybe you don't think it's that positive. Just let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe to us if you have not already. Become a sponsor or patron today. Help support the channel. Help keep us going. That's always extremely important, and we obviously appreciate it. Watch another video, and tell everybody you've ever met in your life to watch us. Everyone. And that's it.
Yes, everyone.
Have an awesome day.
And goodbye.
Your defeat is inevitable.
I warn you not to underestimate my powers.
Do not throw away your potential.
Don't force me to kill you!